Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Marvel Rivals Get to Know Your Toon. Today, we're going to be talking about Black Panther. Black Panther is a DPS, a duelist as they call it, and he's a 4-star difficulty, meaning he's hard to play. He's got a really cool skin, his Dora Panther, and he's also got an MVP animation like everybody else. Pretty cool. He's also got an emote. Of course, his salute. And a couple of sprays. But let's get into it and talk about his abilities. Now, Black Panther is a duelist, he's a DPS, he's a brawler. He has to get in close to use his Vibranium Claws, his basic attack. Now, the most important part of his kit is this Vibranium mark. You get in a few different ways. One is by the spear that you see here. But this mark allows you to use the sprint rend over and over again to attack your enemies. Every time you hit an enemy with that Vibranium mark, your sprint rend refreshes. So you get to dash all around and through enemies. You're not just sitting there brawling. One of his other attacks that helps you get around too is his spinning kick. This also leaves a Vibranium mark on the enemies, thereby refreshing his sprint rend. So using this in combo, you start to understand more how to play Black Panther. He's got a subtle step too, which you saw there, allows him to climb walls, kind of like Spider-Man and some of the others. And here's his spear toss that we saw earlier and started to talk about. It does a little bit of area effect damage, not a ton of damage, but its most important job is to leave that Vibranium mark that you see on all 3 of those enemies nearby. Now, the passive about Black Panther is that he does higher damage when he's at low health. So you're going to get focused a lot because you're going to be jumping in on their healers, on their DPS. You're going to be marking and using that sprint rend to be constantly turning them all around. Another way you can do this is a team up with Magic. She can open a portal in which she and Black Panther can go through, thus getting further deeper into enemy lines where they both can go off with their super melee damage abilities. This is really good if you really want to try to take out the enemy support lines right away. You teleport in and you both start going to town like this. And with Black Panther, it's especially important to keep that mark going. That sprint rend allows you to get out of trouble and not be focused. If you're focused as Black Panther, you're going to have a lot of trouble. It's a hard tune to play unless you're constantly moving and kind of creating that chaos in the back row like a Sombra from Overwatch. Or even like Ball a little bit. You want to create chaos and do damage when you can. So you can see he's got a little bit of lore as well, just like all the other tunes out there. And of course he also has some achievements for some portraits and emblems and some other things you can unlock in-game, including some points as well. But one thing I actually forgot to talk about here is his ultimate, which is Bast's Descent, in which you summon Bast, in which he pounces forward, dealing damage and attaching a Vibranium mark to hit his enemies. So that's 3 different ways that you can attach Vibranium marks and really allow Black Panther to do a lot of damage and to keep enemies turning around. That's the whole point with his kit. You gotta keep them on their toes, keep them turned around. You're a distraction. You get in, you get out, and you really let your other teammates do the heavier lifting. You get in, do your thing, and get out. Let them focus, let them do the constant wear downs while you're getting in there and just kind of messing with them, and more importantly, turning them around. But let's see how he plays here. Again, he's a 4-star difficulty DPS. He's a little difficult to play. It took me a while to get him down. And I don't even know if I really got him down, if I'm being honest, but I think I had some decent gameplay, but we'll see here how it goes. So to start off, you see, I really can't run right down the middle and start attacking, because if I do, I'm probably in trouble. They're stacked up, they're lined up. I can do a little bit of damage if I get in there, but I gotta get out quickly. It's a little too hot for Black Panther. Now you see Groot's there. I'm going to try and focus on him. I'm just kind of holding down that basic melee and just trying to do damage if anybody gets near me. I got to get that mark on them, which I do there. There it is. And then I go in and attack, get a little melee, get that sprint rend, get some healing. Again, you're trying to flank. You're trying to track down their flankers too and their healers like we do there. A little gang up helped as well, plus they were already down their tank. That's great. We have a Penny out there kind of controlling the point. That all makes my job a little easier. But when it comes time to fight, we hit him with the spear, we get the mark, we do the sprint rend, we're doing melee damage. Anybody coming in, I'm trying to hit him with those marks. I think someone went behind us. Yeah, there we go. I think I missed him with their spear. They keep escaping me. They're somewhere in here. There it goes. They were still marked. That mark lasted. I was able to use the sprint run to hit him down a little bit. And the nice thing about that sprint run is it gets you a little high sometimes if you need to. It doesn't traverse massive amounts of distance, but it could be enough to get you to the second floor. We're getting in close. I'm trying to land those marks. It's a little hard when you got a lot of mobile characters like they do. There's Bast. There's some marks. There's the sprint rend. Let's keep wearing them down with our basic. And we broke the game. Because that's what happens sometimes when your teammates ult and there's a lot of destruction going on. It's a pretty common problem in the alpha. Thankfully, we weren't in a fight, though, really, so we get to keep pushing that payload. So you can do a little bit of damage from distance, but it's not really an effective method and a good use of his kit. Now their hell is popping off. I don't want any part of that, if I'm being honest. I'm kind of hanging out, seeing who I can pick up. There's a flanker there, that Star-Lord. He got no bit of trouble. I'm kind of trying to wear down this Ironwood from Groot, but even that's not that effective too. Again, not a good use of Black Panther's abilities. Groot ults on me. He takes me out, of course. Because he is squishy.
This is real firepower. Bast has favored me with another chance.
The dash run, obviously gets you back into the action a little bit quicker. You do have like an 11-second cooldown, I think it said. So it does take a while for that cooldown to come up again. That's why it's so important that you land those marks, because if you have those marks, you can do it again. Now, Star-Lord popped off. There's not much I can do about a Star-Lord, especially if I miss a shot and can't put the mark on him and do the dash rend on him, the sprint rend.
Get that vehicle moving again.
Again, with Panther, you really want the fight kind of close. If you've got teammates around you, you've got like Loki and are getting some constant heals with some constant, damage assistance, he can be a heck of a Toon. But, he's kind of hard otherwise. If you're not super precise with those marks or you don't have your team with you, you can get focused really easy. And here I go. I know I got a little protection here, but he throws the Groot walls up. Thankfully, our storm popped off. I got lucky, I think, on that one. Used Bast, got the mark down, did another sprint rend, was able to finish the tank. Kind of worked out in my favor there. Of course, having Storm pop off as well was probably a bigger factor. I think if you're a Sombra player, I think you'll like him. I think he's got some similarities with Spider-Man and obviously Magic, as I said before. You sort of want to get in, do a little damage, cause a little chaos, and then get out, because he will get dropped super fast if not, and if you don't have that support. Now their hell is going off, so there's just slinging damage everywhere. I think I'm trying to stay under the bridge for a second to avoid it, but it is unavoidable. So he can get picked off really easy. That's the thing. You got to sort of sneak around. You got to pick your battles. And, yeah, you sort of need the right team comp, I think, with Black Panther. Maybe more so than the other Toons. And I think that's why a lot of people don't really like his kit or don't think he's the best Toon available right now. You know, I mean, they weren't even facing me. They didn't even know I was there till it was too late. So those kills were a little bit easy. You know, those marks are great. It's a little far away. I'm not jumping into that. It is their respawn area. Let's get the checkpoint. Let's stay with the objective and provide support if they can. So here I go. I get bored. I decide to jump in. Of course, the game breaks again. So I don't know what's going on. Got my ult, and I died.
I am ready to throw
Thankfully,
the
I didn't
show.
use the ult and then die. But that was not the best move. Again, I tried jumping into a pile of enemies, and yeah, it didn't work out well for me. So I landed that mark. That sprint run, I mean, that was from a decent distance. So, you know, if you're super accurate and they're not full-on tight together, he can cause some chaos. There I am trying to mark that Scarlet Witch. She's floating around. She's up to no good, I can tell you that. I really want to focus her down because I know what she's trying to do. She's trying to get in behind us, sneak around, and drop that ult of hers, which is super effective and can wipe out the whole team relatively quickly. So there's Bass. His ult also feels a little bit limited too. The range isn't so great. They kind of all have to be really grouped up. I might make a change if I'm a developer. I might suggest maybe having Bast run forward, like run through the whole pack, like across the screen. Sort of like, let's say, Hanzo's ult, you know, where it just keeps traveling forward into infinity to some degree. I think it might have a better effect than this sort of limited range. Yes, you get the marks, and that's great. And there, you know, had a bunch of marks there from the spear. But again, I'm starting to get focused, and that means trouble for me. So I'm starting to back off and stick around the health packs for the most part. I know Storm's got the damage up, so that's good too. I want to try and take advantage of that because his damage is decent when you get it. But Namor's hiding from me. He's so low. I'm just trying to hold down that button and swipe him. But there we go. Sprint Ren. Got him. Got some air. Air Panther. That's what he's known as. Really kind of want to stay with the team. Or if you isolate to attack and you try and dive, make sure you know what you're doing. And make sure you have an exit plan. Against the Punisher, he's dead meat against the Punisher. There's not much escaping you're going to do versus that. But thankfully, we pushed the payload really, really far. And I don't even know if I get back here by the time my team keeps moving. Oh, yeah, I guess they stopped us. So they switched it up a little bit too. They got a Magneto now. I got my ult again.
Only 60 seconds left.
Though, like as I said before, I'm really not in love with the ult overall. Oh, and there comes Namor throwing his at me. Alright, my team's starting to trickle in and get up there. I'm going to try and use that ult and get in there. So that wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Did some good damage. He's marked. Threw a spear again. I probably should have dash rendered. Sprint rendered there again. But, you know, it's like hitting those marks and constantly moving around, turning them around. If you can turn around an enemy, that's like half the fight because then he's not shooting your teammates. Yeah, he's shooting you. You might die. Hopefully you can get out, get a health pack. But you're taking the pressure off them, which is part of the Black Panther kit in my mind. What did that say, 10 and 6? I mean, not great numbers. Not great numbers, really. And my teammates had way more damage overall than me, too. Admittedly, he's not my favorite Toon, and I am not a very good Black Panther at all. It takes a certain skill set to play him. I'm not the best Sombra in the world, too, in Overwatch. I like playing them, but in terms of effectiveness, I'm not the best. Yeah, and my this is my play, is hitting them with their back turned and getting an easy melee kill there. But hey, I'll take it. A victory's a victory, and I definitely still have some homework to do on Black Panther. So, in a nutshell, Black Panther, I think, is a fun DPS to play, don't get me wrong. I think his skill level, the floor is pretty high to play him effectively. But as always, I want to hear what you have to say. Maybe you're better than me. Give me some tips. Anyways, write them all in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And please tell me what you think. I'm reading them all. And we'll catch you next time on Marvel Rivals Get to Know Your Toon.